Hey guys, Daniel here. This is take two of this video because I'm clearly mentally deficient in that I hit the stream button instead of the record button on OBS. So I just shot 15 minutes of video, put my heart and soul into it, and now it doesn't exist. On the bright side, I guess like 3 or 4 guys ended up seeing me stream a whole video that I didn't know they were watching, and I was not replying to their comments because clearly my Twitch wasn't open. So anyways, that being said, welcome to video 9 of the gaming startup. I'm going to try and hit all the points that I just hit. Oh man, it's so brutal. Like, see, but this is part of the learning experience, is that you don't hit stream on the program that you use to record. I feel really silly. I'm going to put that out there. Okay, so, anyways, it's November 1st, 2016. We just hit the end of the second month of us streaming that I have, on record. So I have a full month in September and a full month in October recording now. So we're going to look at the numbers from month over month and kind of do a little bit of analysis of that. So in September I had 42 followers, 6 donations, and brought in $46. So that was September. My followers were pretty consistent almost all of September. I did 1 or 2 people almost every single day. My best day was 6, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days where I didn't put on any people. So out of the 30 days, that's kind of my numbers. So 1 or 2 people on most of those days. Some days I had 6, some I had 3, some I had 5. Lots of 1s and lots of 0s. So that was kind of that month, but it was pretty consistent all the way through. Now fast forward to this last month that I just did, so October, I put on 50 followers. So that's a 16% growth, which is good month over month. So that means we're growing. I had 1 donation for $25, so not a ton in the donations department. That's okay though. I'm not really worried with the donations right now. I'm worried more about like my followers and growing the channel. That being said, this was really inconsistent in terms of like my followers. In the first 10 days, I put on 37 followers. So I had like 4. Next day I had 7, 1, 0, 0, 3, 3, 5, 5, 8, and then like a bunch of like 1s and 0s, and then 5 followers one day, and then like for a whole 7 days I didn't put on 1 follower at all, and I like streamed every single one of these days. So it's definitely like this is hard psychologically, I guess, to do a lot of this sometimes. Like looking at it month over month, it's like, oh, it doesn't look so bad. I actually grew like 16%. That's pretty good. I'm still growing, and that's awesome. But then I look at like, me being me, having to go through like that last week, and it was like right at the end where I had like nobody follow. Can be really, really discouraging. That being said, that last week both the League of Legends finals were on and the Hearthstone finals were on. So I think that was eating up a lot of the Twitch traffic. Like the Hearthstone, there was like 75,000 people viewing, and like in the top like 5 videos where they were streaming, there was something like 60,000 people, if not more. So almost all the traffic was being diverted there. So I'm not going to be too worried. Like I was even looking at some of the bigger streamers who often have like 1,000 people watching them, and they had like 100. So I'm not going to get too concerned with that. I think like there was just stuff going on that week, and I shouldn't like consider it too much into my numbers. That being said, it can be a lot of this is really psychological, right? It's just like learning how to not get too down on yourself when stuff doesn't always go the way you want it to. And just knowing that like there's other stuff that's going on sometimes. That being said, this last week I definitely had a lot more participation in my stream, which is good and which is what I'm looking for. I consistently had probably 7 to 11 people almost in the stream at any given time, and they were all like being really active and engaging. And it was a lot of these guys that have already followed me, and they were kind of going from that like casual camp to that like more dedicated camp. So that's more what we wanted to see. I mean, that's the real sign of building a community and growth. So that being said, looking at these numbers, all it tells me is that this is very inconsistent. Like I don't really see too many patterns or trends other than that. Like I never put on followers on Tuesday, and I put on a lot of followers on the weekend. Typically, even in my lowest point in this whole like last week, I did end up putting on 2 followers on the last Sunday. So it's you know, just looking at it, you know, you can kind of start to see some trends, but I just don't think I need to get too worked up. Like, you know, I stream for 2 hours one day, I put 0 followers. I stream for 2 hours the next day, I put on 5. Like, that's just kind of, I think, the game, and that's just how I have to get into it. So I'm just like trying to like go through my brain and think of all the things I've already talked about in like length and detail, and then like sit here and talk about them again and try and like convey all that information that I conveyed the first time. Because you know, like once you like have something on your brain and you get it off, you're like, oh, okay, check that box, and I move on. So that being said, so I'm really starting to realize that the more I stream, to be a successful streamer has a lot more to do with like your psychology and like your ability to deal with people than it has anything to do with gaming or your like even your technological savvy. It's really about building a community and like making that community grow. And I learned that a lot this week. I made someone a moderator, and he got a little power hungry. Like the second I made him a moderator, and he started like getting into it with 2 of my regular guys. My daughter's crawling around here now. I had like a quiet setup for the first video, but now I kiboshed that, so I'm gonna get a few noises in the back here. That being said, so I had him kind of going off the rails. I made him a moderator to help me with like my Nightbot to like edit the code and stuff. But what actually ended up happening is just he just, I don't know, started lording it over the other guys, and they got pissed off about it. And so I'm sitting here trying to think what to do, right? Because I have like 2 groups of people. Like I have, you know, the one guy who I just like made a moderator, and then I have like the other 2 guys who are, you know, loyal followers. And then they're sitting here asking me to like choose between them and like make this decision, right? Of what to do. And so I kind of felt like one of those scenarios in Mass Effect where, you know, you're having to choose between 2 crew members, and they're like, well, I don't like this one, and the other one's like, well, I don't like this one, and you're kind of like stuck in the middle as like Shepard, trying to decide who stays and who goes. But if you're like your charisma's high enough, you get like a third option, and that's kind of what I decided to do, is like sit back and kind of decide what to do and go for that third option. So what I ended up doing is I ended up whispering all 3 guys, kind of like getting their opinions on what was going on and talking it out a little bit. So what ended up happening is I ended up unmoderating the one guy, but doing it in like a graceful way, and then, you know, kind of like apologizing to the other 2 guys that he had pissed off. Because like anytime someone's moderating, they're representing you, right? And so you kind of have to watch out for like, I guess, like I learned that lesson. I need to know people a bit better before I give them any kind of power. And also like, you know, there's always the third option. Like the world's always trying to present you like A or B, and sometimes they don't even present you A or B. Sometimes they just present you A, and they like say like that's the norm and that's the thing you have to do. It's like go to school, like that's A, and there's no B option. But if you really take some time and think about it, there's always like a third option, and I think you should always look for that in life, because the third option is often the best option, and it just takes a little bit of thinking to actually get to that place. So that being said, that was, yeah, so I'm really learning that a lot of this has to do more with like dealing with people than dealing with games, which is fine, and that plays a lot into like my psychology background. But definitely, like, I don't know. I think if you're committed to like building a channel, it doesn't really matter if you're like really good at a game so much as you're really good with interacting with people. Because I think that's what's going to make people stick around in the long run, is being entertaining, being genuine, and like knowing how to like build relationships more so than play video games. And so that's kind of what I'm learning as I go. I'm sorry if I forgot a lot of my thoughts that I had. She's very distracting. So this is going to be the end of this video. For the next month, I'm going to try and grow it. I'm going to try and get to 75 more followers, so get our numbers. I'm at 90 now. I'm going to try and grow it to... sorry. I'm going to try and grow it to maybe about 150 is kind of where I'd like to be, even 200 if I can be really aggressive. We'll see. This last month got me a little discouraged, but I'm going to try and rebound from it and grow and tweak things and work even harder. So that's going to be kind of my goals. yeah, so sorry, I'm super distracted, guys. I apologize. I've been shooting video for the last half an hour now because I've been trying to reshoot. So just don't make stupid mistakes. But that's kind of the fun of it, too, is that we're making mistakes, and you guys are here for the ride, and you see all the really ugly, nitty-gritty stuff. So I definitely appreciate you checking it out. If you like the videos, if you don't like the videos, let me know. Like, if these are crap, tell me, and I'll try and make them better. But I can't do anything without feedback, so like it, don't like it, give me a comment, just let me know what you guys think, and I'll yeah, I'll see you around in video number 10, so take care, guys.